I'm sitting here today. This is Native Black, OG, chilling. I represent what you call my people. And Native Black Network is something that I'm working on. It ain't actually out there on YouTube yet, but soon it will be. But I'm sitting here with Siobhan, aka Gutta Murda, talking about what she's doing with her CD or music on Murda TV. Now, I'm gonna let you let her holler at y'all so you can get a little understanding of what's going on. I've been wanting to interview her for a while because she's doing a lot. So let her tell you a little bit. What's going on, Gutta?
What's good?
You talk to the people, tell them what's happening.
I mean, what's up? The sky. Everything is up right now. You know what I mean? Got the music going. Like my man said, like the OG said, Murda TV. You can just search bar that and YouTube or whatever, and I'll pop right up. Just got the videos popping. Mixtapes is out. Look for that Destiny by Force, that's out right now. Volume 2. Well, Volume 1 and 2 are out. It's hard to find, but if somebody finds it, let me know, holla at me. I might have a door prize for you. But yeah, the Destiny by Force joint, Volume 2, that's out right now. Okay. All the videos you see on YouTube,
okay,
those are off that CD.
Right.
Just working on music, man.
I want to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that I have been talking to, first of all, how I came across your CD was through ad. And me and you had been seeing each other back and forth but not speaking. And then it was ironic that you were standing over there in front of your house. I was sitting in the car and Ab gave me your CD by mistake. He was handing me something. It was Father's Day. And I remember looking at the CD jacket, looking at you, looking at the CD, looking at you. I'm like, wait a minute, let me pop this in. And I had heard your voice. I heard you talk a couple of times, so I knew your voice when you were talking to Baz a few times. So then all of a sudden, I popped this in and bow, your voice is right there. And the first thing I thought was, yeah, okay, this is a design. Now, the reason I brought that up, because me and you done elaborated on several topics and issues.
Right.
And as you know, I'm always keeping it on a political, spiritual topic because there's so much going on, and being as that I'm part of that 50-plus crew, I kind of go back to the OG and look at what I've been through. And I got to say, you bound for success and stardom in the secular world. The physical, it's how you say, it's nonstop. I see what you're doing. But something you said, and talking about some of the youth that are gay and going through things, don't know who to talk to. And the things you hit them in the head with give them the confidence to go forward. When they got family problems, they can't tell their moms and pops. And in a sense, they really look up to you. Because whether it's skateboarders, whether it's just young and up-and-comers or whatever, I see that you have an aptitude for it. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
All right. Well, first of all, Ab, the gentleman that OG is speaking of, is Ab Dollars, who I got. We got our own little projects and music. So the backyard shenanigans is the name of our project, and it kind of it just speaks on just this. It's like the Queens thing, but
I got you.
That's what made look out for him. We got
Right.
a couple of projects coming out. He'll be on YouTube soon. But to touch on what you were speaking about, you and I just seeing each other in passing and whatnot, and not necessarily communicating verbally with each other, but everything happens for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate anybody who appreciates what I do and the music that I make, and just put that out there.
Let me just say this to you. Me being a musician myself and playing bass and keys and going through my life, I come to realize when I talk to you that it's a design that's designed by a higher power. Why? Because of the things I go through. And I always tell people that the circles that we run in are sometimes, as they say, birds of a feather. I see a lot of good things going on. And it's surprising that politically, I believe God has put you in a driver's seat, so to speak.
Okay.
Because the climate right now of misdirection, financial misdirection, especially when people have to live, have to eat. You like myself, you know, I say we struggling artists, you know, and we're not starving yet, but we're struggling, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes when we see things others don't because of what we're trying to do, get a message out there. And there's so many obstacles. Like there's something you said on one of the cuts on your CD where you was talking about how the industry has gotten it's sex that sells and nothing else, and the message has gotten lost. And the fact that you so raw, you black, you're a woman, you're a minority, and you're gay. You hold all the keys. You're like a gatekeeper.
Right. The minority within the minority.
I admire you, man, and I want you to know that you got a lot of fan base. It's like I push your CD because I know by next year you're gonna be on top of the world, and when it drops, when your CD drops, as they say, it's gonna get mad crazy. They're gonna be tugging you every which way. So I'm confident.
From your lips to God's ears.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
It's like that though, and that's why I motivate you, Gutta, because you know, out of the artists that I know and the artists that I listen to, no disrespect to none of them, they sound like a chorus of voices banging on the same gate. You're the only one that's coming at it, staying true to the game with your lyrics, with your demeanor, with your lifestyle, and as you say, you don't give a F, and I don't blame you. Because I'm about self-empowerment. That's what attracts me to you. And that's why I like the fact that we like family. We roll, we talk spiritually, because at the base of everything that we trying to do, you know God is in control. And brothers hear me say that. Some brothers shy away when I speak about God. I ain't mad at them. But I try to get them to understand, yo, cat, y'all ain't doing this by yourself. I ain't get to be 50 plus, you dig? Being no fool, dig? And it's things that I ran through to realize, yeah, I got to serve God. At the same time, I understand day-to-day. Religion, I'm not into. I study it. I love what it does, what it's supposed to do. We need a balance. But when brothers and sisters get caught up in religion, become hypocrites and persecute the very people that's their family and friends and neighbors, and then they want to look at your lifestyle instead of your heart, I got a problem with them because they not keeping it real. And that's for anybody to hear this. So on that note, I'm gonna just run back over because you know my face been kind of like on the side. I really ain't got no business on this. This is for Gutta, but I wanted you to know that we try to keep it on the family tip. A lot of us brothers and sisters out here, we not communicating like we supposed to. You know, we put on airs, and sometimes we let the material things in our lives rule instead of letting what our parents and our grandparents instilled in us, and let that be the basis and work from there. You know, that unity, there's still strength in numbers. They say we 14% of the American population. A lot of y'all identify yourselves as African American. Okay, that's cool. I'm Native Black, and I hope when you hear this, you understand that Gutta gonna be like on top of the world. So you casting Noah, you know, you gotta get down and lay down. Understand where she coming from. Listen to the lyrics. I mean, y'all got some skills out there, but man, I mean, she on top of her game. Sorry to say, y'all. Some of y'all sound like doo-doo. Did I say that?
Yikes. But now I mean to touch back on.
And talk about that backyard shenanigans though, because that's the new one, right? That's the new one coming up.
That's a new situation I got going with Ab Dollars, my man. Shout out to Ab Dollars.
Okay.
You know what I mean? What's up, Mary Stand Up? But to touch back on, you know, something you asked me before about the gay youth, and that's something that's really important to me.
Yeah, man.
You know, being a gay female myself.
Okay.
And living the life that I live. I'll put it to you like this. I understand the responsibility that I do have, and everybody's responsible for themselves. Like I can't raise your kids or whatever, but I know that when they looking at me, they're seeing themselves, and I think that's important because we don't really see ourselves like as young black gay or Latino or whatever, or just young gay youth. Like we hardly see ourselves like depicted on TV or in advertisements and whatnot, and that image, or that, I hate to say image, or just us represented is so scarce. You know what I'm saying? It's only represented in like gay publications on a broad scale.
Right.
And I think me making the music that I make and just being of this hip hop culture. And I was born in the, like I like to say, the cradle of life of hip hop. Like I grew up in the 80s where hip hop was like I grew up with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it that way.
Okay.
And I've seen hip hop go from not as successful as it's going on to be like a major force to be reckoned with within the the music industry and just entertainment in itself. And I think that what I'm saying and what I'm doing, hopefully I can only pray that these kids and these girls or whatever, just gay youth in general, they look at me and they can say to themselves like, wow, okay, if she did that, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to hide. You don't have to be something else. You don't have to curb your art or dumb down your art, because I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gutta did it, and I'm going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's, when you speak about empowerment, that's what I hope that I can bring to the forefront. And, hopefully people will start to recognize the LGBT community as a force to be reckoned with as far as, like money is concerned, because I keep trying to explain this, I don't keep trying to, I try to speak to people about how powerful the gay dollar is. Now the past maybe 10 or 15 or so years, we're starting to see, and there's, just the powers that be is starting to recognize and see that, there is power in the gay dollar. Like, there's millions of us in New York alone, you know what I'm saying? So, all of that, all that negative talk and energy that people, put into trying to make you feel like you're less than,
correct,
or what have you, like, numbers don't lie.
Correct.
They don't. You know what I'm saying? They don't. Numbers do not lie. These are facts. Like, almost half of New York, they have some type of like LGBT like affiliation, or they know somebody in your family, or it's like, these big companies, major Fortune 500 companies, they recognize that. Why is the rest of the world just now catching up? And a lot of them ain't. They just sitting there like, oh well, you can't sell them X amount of records being a gay artist, or you can't do this, you can't. I've heard that my entire career.
Well, let me just touch on that real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, not a problem.
There's a funny thing that goes along with that particular statement that you just made. I'll give an example. What's the best way to get a person to do what you want them to? Is to defeat yourself first. So if I keep telling you that you can, eventually you'll start to believe it. Part of the reconstruction of people in general for control purposes, right after the emancipation, another time after Plessy versus Ferguson, throughout history when it came to schools are separate but not equal, they had to find a way to indoctrinate us. So it continues on every level, like the brother Darryl said earlier about everything is institutional, and it is. Even the thought to tell a child when they was doing Reconstruction and the freedom slaves that you can't be but a shoe shine or a maid or a bellboy or something of that nature, you can't be a doctor or a lawyer. So now, because there's strength in the gay dollar, gay community, most of our politicians that achieved things in the founding fathers were gay. And nobody really takes a look at that. Like I said before, people have to understand it's not about separation, it's about inclusion. If I'm a Muslim, or I'm a Christian, or I'm a Jew, and I got power, or whatever it is, that I believe in something greater than myself, I'm only defeating myself if I hate my neighbor with judgment and not love them as the book or the lessons or the concept that I'm learning or supposedly believing is practiced by me, which brings about negativity. It can never be right. So that's why the realignment of religion that people practice, I don't. So your message coming at it is always spiritual. That's what attracts me to you.
Always.
I know that as a family, as a people, I got gay women in my family. I've had gay men in my family. I got a big ass family. But at the same time, there's something that me and Shahida talked about old school that you do. And that is, you have who you are, you have who you have, you deal with who you deal with, but you do it in such a classy way, I would never know. That's your business. That is your lifestyle. It has nothing to do with your demeanor, contribution, and who you are. People don't realize that. Who you love is who you love. How you're born is how you're born. Now, if I believe in a true God that carries me, who am I? Ye without sin cast the first what? Stone.
Talk about it.
You dig? So when I look at people and I hear things, and I come to the conclusion, I let people cancel themselves out. You dig? And that go in the music world, in the financial world, in the work, and even in my family. I love my family, but some of them you can't deal with them. I love you from a distance.
Yeah. You can't save everybody.
You dig? So, yeah.
But a lot of people, I mean, like I've come across a few individuals that that may consider my music to be not at all spiritual, but anything and everything that I do every day is a part of my spirit. And you know what I'm saying? It's everything I do is through God.
Well, let me give an example. If you come up with some explicit lyrics from the way you're feeling, and that is as an artist, what you're feeling according to how you're raised in your environment and your surroundings and circle, and you express that, whether it's explicit or not, or the lyrics are explicit, if I shut myself down, and I don't receive the message either way. You dig? You know that I rap old school, I sing, I don't use profanity in that sense, but it never makes me shy away from the message in your song, explicit lyrics or not. It still has a spiritual content to it.
A lot of people don't understand
because look,
that.
if 10,000 people listen to your record,
right,
and 1,000 people, young or old, are touched by it, whether the lyrics are explicit and it impacts their life, to give them power, to give them strength, to make them wake up and not be held down anymore, to come out the closet and be who they are and achieve what they got to achieve, then that 1,000 out of 10,000 that achieved that, they went on to a better quality of life. If that's not spiritual, what is it?
Then what is it?
So God used you. Go to the Bible. Look at Solomon, all of these wives. Look at, I could go on.
Yeah,
David and Bathsheba was a crazy story. This man actually screwed another man's wife, got her pregnant, then turned around and killed Bathsheba's husband to be with her. That sounds like something happened in Brooklyn last week.
Read the paper.
My point exactly. So, in that note, just to touch on hypocrites and things, I try not to be that. And I say try because we have to be conscious and careful and critical of oneself before we point the finger. As they say, before I can pull a thorn out of my brother's eye, I got to take the plank out of my own.
Right.
You dig?
Exactly.
So I'm here with Gutta, Murda, and we've been kind of elaborating, and I'm gonna shut this down for a second. You're getting sunlight crazy, so won't pass no mind,
This is God shining on us.
No doubt. So I'm gonna holler at you later, and that's G Murda TV.
G Murda TV, like I said before on YouTube, search bar that. Look out for Drinking and Praying. That's the next CD coming out from me. Backyard Shenanigans. That's gonna be me and Ab Dollars. That's gonna be our collaboration that we come out with. I want to say probably next spring. It'll probably be done and ready, for everybody to check out. But until then, catch me on YouTube. Just at me, Gutta Murda.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Just look at me. We just out here grinding, making music, telling the truth. If I just so happen to change the world by accident, then that's what it is. You did? West Side America.
West Side up. Peace. So you got it. Handle it. You dig?